traumatic or nothing. Just like any kid growing up in the ghetto, you don't really realize you're in the ghetto until you get a little older, you know what I mean? So I guess it really just growing up was the same little thing, you know? Different activities and things like that to kind of get into from an adolescent, like pop on the football. That got me to meet up with certain individuals who I'm aligned with now, you know, way back then. So it really started from the sandbox. You know, I didn't go to the same school. There's a lot of homies, but I went to school like Valencia Park and things like that. So, you know, I was introduced to a lot of different things growing up young because you had a lot of cats who had big brothers or uncles or things like that. Used to come scoop them from school, you know, and they was pushing different type of whips and things like that. So my introduction to it at first came from a spectator's point of view, just being able to see different things, and I really had a type of mind frame as a youngster to really calculate them and add them up. But as far as just, you know, what it was like growing up in Southeast, man, you know, like I said, it wasn't traumatic or nothing. It was just a regular existence as a youngster, doing the same thing kids do, playing in the canyon, riding dirt bikes, you know, riding BMXs and skateboards and all that type of stuff, you know? Emotions, you know what I mean? Rules and regulations. You know, expressions of things from my spectacles, or how I see things, you know? Things that I've experienced. Things that I've been through, maybe not how I might react to them if I had the opportunity to go through them again, but, you know, the way that I reacted to them initially, or, you know, the way that I've seen some of my homies in my closer circle react to it. Especially, you know, we get to talk about F and things like that, things that I ain't never experienced, but yet I was able to see the effect of them all, you know, how they affected other people, you know what I mean, or just to have a homie that's close to you to be able to pass on. So, you know, it's like narrative. You know, a lot of people put these unrealistic expectations on artists, like, oh, well, we're not supposed to say this because the kids are listening. Okay, the kids is watching the news too. Right. You know, the kids is in the house or in the yard playing when motherfuckers come through and get popped on. You know what I mean? So it ain't like the kids is isolated. They playing in the same playground and witnessing firsthand the things that I'm talking about in my music. So you gotta understand, as far as an artist, I'm a reality artist, man. Everything is political. You know, I ain't necessarily one that's just oversaturated with the gang shit, but more so just the reality of growing up in the ghetto, man. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go on in there. And like I said, I ain't got the baton broke all the streets, man, in one way or another. You know what I mean? Ooh. Man, you know, I've been performing really as a youngster. I think, you know, I started playing pop on the football at 7 years old. And I think probably 2 years after I started playing, which would have made me 9, my mom was like, boy, why don't you do something different this year? You ain't gonna play pop on the football. I'm gonna send you up here to Alpine to this little youth camp. So I went to the youth camp, and, you know, one of the little nights of the camp, we had like a little talent show. And I performed Houdini's 5 minutes of funk, you know what I mean? And it wasn't over no beat or nothing. I just had a few dudes standing behind me. You know, we young, so we probably like 10 years old. But I got a few dudes standing behind me, just hitting that dun 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 dun, and I'm just busting the 5 minutes of funk. So I guess, you know, from a young age, it's really hard for me to pinpoint when I knew I wanted to be a performer or whatever. But, you know, it started at a young age. Even when I was young, my mom used to have me dancing and stuff when we had family gatherings at Christmas. So being a performer or a rapper per se, you know, it's been in my life for a long time because that's the music really that my generation growing up was listening to. You know what I mean? So I think I aspired or looked up to a lot of dudes I've seen on your MTV Raps with Fat Five Freddy and all that. You know, I wouldn't mind being one of them dudes. So it's hard for me to really pinpoint exactly when I wanted to be a rapper, but, you know, I've been doing it for a long time, man. You know? Oh, man. You know, I gotta say Gangsta Iron first, because Gangsta Iron took away the fantasy of it. And what I mean by that is, you know, you can watch TV and see all the New York rappers doing their thing, but it's so distant from you, it's like unrealistic. Gangsta Iron was an individual that you would bump into at the stoplight or at the corner store, and yet he was one of them cats that was rapping that had the whole city. So to be able to see him inhabit in the same areas I did, it made it a little bit more realistic for me. It's like, you know, this is something that's really obtainable. So, you know, I would definitely say Gangsta Iron first and foremost. But then outside of that, man, the list goes on, man. Poor righteous teachers, cats like that. When I first started listening to rap, it wasn't really no NWA and all that way back when I first started listening. You had poor righteous teachers. You had, Daddy Kane, LA, all them type of dudes. So it wasn't, this is before people really differentiated from the East Coast and the West Coast. It was hip-hop. And it was more African-centered too, black. You know what I mean? Dudes were saying something in their rhymes. It wasn't necessarily, always about killing or negative things. You had a lot of people that understood that they had a voice that was, reverberating through the culture. So I think a lot of times they took courtesy and they took concern in the things that they said. So, a lot of them older dudes is why I think I use the type of vernacular that I use in my rap. Sometimes I might tap into a certain vocabulary, use an abstract form of just expression. But, that comes from listening to dudes that really paved the way from the beginning. So, if you take it from the poor righteous teachers, you got to hit that Wu-Tang, because I was really on them as far as the lyrics, Nas, all that. And then, you bring it up to speed, even Mitch, you know what I'm saying? Right. Mitch with that Triggeration Station, all them different things. So cats like that inspired me. Like I said, really gave me an opportunity. My boy Goo and them with Prime Suspect. Ice B. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that I've been dealing with for a long time that have really been holding these mics for a long time. And people might think just because now they're hearing about them, these dudes been around for a minute, but these are dudes that I looked up to. That, like I said again, even with the Gangsta Earn comparison, these individuals that was in my immediate area, they wasn't like way out somewhere and made it a fantasy thing. They kind of brought it to reality. So these is the dudes that really helped me get in my lane and be able to mold my own style. So, it's hard for me to really pinpoint a particular individual, but it's really just hip-hop itself, man, that really motivated me and kept me like, okay, I can do this. This is something that I've been blessed with. And as long as I keep it 100 with myself and the things that I talk about, it's obtainable. I guess what sets me apart from other human beings, my life experiences, the DNA of my life experiences. Because even though we all humans, we got our own DNA that make us up. So I figure the same thing that sets us apart as human beings is the same thing that sets me apart as from other rappers, my particular DNA. You know what I'm saying? We might all grew up in the ghetto, but your path through the streets might have been different from mine. That's our own genetic makeup as far as the street shit goes, just like with the industry. Everybody's road to how they get to the music is different from everybody else's. So in that sense, I think that's what sets me apart from other artists. You're not really going to say, oh, I'm realer than dude, or I don't wear skinny jeans. All that is frivolous. You know what I mean? It's really for the people to determine, and the authenticity of the music, and the fact that, I got files that individuals can both research and compare them to the music, so them juxtapose to the music, and see that this is not something that's fabricated, that in fact this individual experienced this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I said, I really don't try to put myself next to another man and see what's different between me and that man. You know what I mean? I really don't take the time or waste the time to do that, because it's a lot more important things to do. I just try to express myself and not really pigeonhole myself, oh, I'm a gangster rapper, I'm a political rapper, or this, that, or the other. Nah, man, I just try to make authentic, good music, and hopefully it's something that the people can grasp onto and take something from it. And even if they can't, maybe they'll pass it on to somebody else who might be able to get into it and take something from it, But I really don't know. I think, like I said, it's just the DNA and the difference of me and my experiences that might set me apart from another artist, Well, I had did 12 years straight in the pen, and I got out for 5 months, and I ended up being arrested as a suspect in this case that I'm currently down for. And initially, they didn't press charges on me. They took me to Donovan, to do my violation, because I was on parole, so I had a violation coming, so they sent me to Donovan. So while I was in Donovan, I was writing songs, and that State G about it. It's funny because a lot of dudes I know too, we blow weed, we get drunk, and it seems like lyrics just flow from us. And, we find our creative niche sometime off that herb or that drink. But it's funny because that State G about it, that Loot Hungry, it's a lot of different songs that I wrote totally sober and just really off emotions and things I was going through. And that State G about it came about at a time like that. squares, allow these people to get them in them interrogation rooms and make them do, or no matter how many rules these other dudes break, I'm going to stay G about it, man, no matter what they do. You know what I mean? No matter if they give me a life sentence, no matter what they talking about, I'm going to stay G until I die. So, you know, you can listen to the song and pretty much ascertain all the little intricacies of what I was talking about, but the overall view of where the song was coming from was basically just the resolve of an individual who was fighting for his life at a time, but also realized, just like with the rules and regulations and everything, what I wasn't willing to do in order to get my freedom. And I was going to stay G about it no matter what. Well, the city by the border, man, you know, it's San Diego. You know, we the lowest city on the map. You know what I mean? And I don't think that a lot of people who don't live in the city really realize, you know, the influence as far as in the hustling game that come from that border, man, right there in San Isidro. You know what I mean? You know, it's a lot of SA homies that frequent over on that side of the border. And if you involve yourself with the SA homies, then you kind of like know the shit that's on over there. You know, if you've never been across the border, it's like a whole other world, homie. You know what I mean? So I just think that the city by the border kind of like gives a little bit of education to the people who might not necessarily know about the intricacies of San Diego individuals and the hustle gang and their ties to that border. You know what I mean? As well as all the different things that trickle over from over there. You know, so I just thought city by the border would be a good name. You know? It's just a lot of video footage of your boy, man, out there on the streets doing what I do, my one, too. You know what I mean? I was out on bail for this current case right now that these folks is suspecting me as being a participant in. And I just was carrying a video camera around, really going through my everyday, just capturing my life on the streets. You know, going across the border, fucking around in TJ. You know, going up to the jungles in LA, fucking with the homies up there from the Blackstones. You know, different things like that. Up the Slick Pad. You know, recording at the homie spot. You know, different things on an everyday level just to bring the people a little closer to who Lil Spank is and see me interacting with different cats in the community. You know what I mean? In Lincoln Park Hood, in 5-9 Brim Hood, you know, all through the spots in my hood, you know what I mean? It's giving cats a real understanding about some of the things I talk about in my music so they can see the authenticity of it, that it ain't just verbs. It's, you know, it ain't just vocals. You know, I really live this shit and I really be around these areas, you know? Because, like I said, this has been something that's in me and been a part of my life for a long time. So it's like you can't just take it off and fold it up and put it in the attic in a box and forget about it. You know, it's something that lives to me. When I exercise every day, I listen to hip-hop. You know, when I get ready to go on a visit, you know, I be listening to music, getting ready. You know what I mean? So, especially for Africans, you know, music has always been a part of us, whether it be the drum, you know, whether it be some form of dance and just chanting, you know, it's just a part of our blood as Africans, you know. So I think that despite my situation, you know, the music has always been alive in me. You know what I mean? Going through things in prison, it's always a musical overtone to it. Whether you finna go outside and get into a physical altercation with somebody, you know, you listen to different music that's gonna suit that occasion. You know, it's just like anything else in life. You get ready to go out and have a date with your girl, 9 times out of 10 you're listening to R&B. You know, it just so happens that in a lot of the aspects of my life, the thing that's pretty much been the soundtrack to it has been hip-hop. So it's always been a motivation to me because not only am I a fan of it, I'm also an artist. So when I hear different people bust or I hear production off other people's albums, immediately as an artist, it starts making me think of, oh, how would I spit to this? Or how would I bust to that? And the next thing you know, out comes the pen and the pad and I'm getting into it. So, you know, it's not that my predicament would alter it. If anything, it's added fuel to it because I'm a person that functions better under pressure. So the pressure of my situation has really opened up the reservoir of things that I have to say, the things that flood my mind, the things that I think about. And that's given me a lot more things to talk about as far as being an artist in music. And the only thing is just being able to express it in an authentic way, in an original way, and not a way that sounds like somebody else. So, you know, despite my situation, you know, the music has always been a motivation, especially with Slick. You know, I think if maybe I didn't know Mitch, and maybe Mitch didn't open up the door to me really being able to do something with the talent that I got, I don't know how motivated can't see myself sitting on the yard at a table with a gang of teenagers and young 20s beating out beats and rapping for nothing. You know, now that I'm 36, it's kind of like a lot more things that I would be thinking about, but given the opportunity to really get out there and possibly find a career or something, you know, that's what motivates me as well. And like I said, with Slick opening that door for me, you know, it's made it a lot more of a realistic objective for me. So, you know, that's what keeps me motivated too. Well, you know, I've been knowing Slick since I was young, man. But I didn't know Slick was no rapper. So, well, like I told you, I did 12 years, man. I did from February of 94 till July of 2005. So you might as well say 11 years and 6 months, but that's 12 all day long, you know what I mean? So while I was locked up, I kept hearing people talk about, man, you got a homie named Mitchie Slick, man. He up in this murder dog. Woo-tee-woo-woo-woo. I'm like, huh? They're like, yeah, for sure enough. I get the murder dog. I see Slick sitting on the hood of a foe in an apartment complex with the flag tied to ancient mime on his head. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, Slick out there rapping. So next thing you know, I get out, and one of my homies fuck with Slick. And so he had his Slick. You know, I used to rap, like I said, for a long time since I was young. So long story short, everybody told Slick, like, man, Spank be rapping with Pity Woo. So we holler, but we don't holler about no music. So once I catch the case, like I say, write the stage about it and all that and get out on bail. As soon as I get out, I go to the studio, fuck with Steve Vicious, I lay down some tracks, and I make me some copies on Staples clear CDs, and I'm up at Fan Band, man, selling my CDs on my backpack with a 40 caliber Glock, you know, because the city is trim, so I'm up there strapped down, out on bail, just selling my little CD. So Slick hear about it, he called me, he like, Spank, man, I'm at Granny Pad, man, come through and fuck with me. So I come through, and I ain't knowing he up in there giving an interview with some white dude from some magazine. So he like, Spank, you bring your shit? I'm like, yeah. So he put it on right there. And he liked what he heard. He was like, man, you know what? I've been waiting for somebody from Emerald that I could really fuck with. We going to L.A. tomorrow. And, you know, ever since then, I've been part of the con, man, as far as this rap shit goes, you know? I mean, again, it's like I was saying when you was asking me what sets me apart from different artists. How can a motherfucker say that one artist is unauthentic or not when you don't even know that dude? You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, you got a lot of people that's critical of dudes for one reason or another. You know, everybody on Lil Wayne about his blood, and everybody on dudes, you know, like Pac said, man, motherfucker hate you for whatever you do. I don't knock nobody for doing no hip-hop. I don't care if they, you know, doing heavy metal hip-hop or whatever they're doing. If you expressing yourself, how can I knock it? You know, either I like what you do or I don't, as far as an artist standpoint. But as far as me saying the unauthenticity of dudes and all that, man, I don't even try to get into that shit. Because I know the media blows up these old fake-ass beefs for one reason alone, and that's to sell product, man. So I don't even involve myself in that. But, you know, I like a lot of dudes. You know, I fuck with Rick Ross. You know, the controversy that cats are talking about with him being the ex-CEO or whatever. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Suge Knight had homies on the motherfucking L.A. police department fucking with him. So how do we know what Rick Ross was really up in there doing as a CO? For all we know, he could have been bringing a sack. He could have been the CO dropping the phones off. We don't know that. So how can we say he unauthentic just because he was a CO and we don't know the real motherfucking specifics behind that? All it can be is speculation, homie. So how are we going to put a Judas on somebody or put a cross on somebody's back for them to bear, and it's based on speculation? That's not no gangster shit. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, you know, motherfuckers will hate you for whatever you do, but they ain't going to never hate you when you ain't doing shit because it ain't nothing to hate on. 9 times out of 10, the people that's getting hated on is motherfuckers that's about something, man. So, you know, I try not to get into that. I like dudes' music. Some dudes' music I don't like. You know what I mean? But it ain't nothing based on their unauthenticity or whatever, you know what I mean? Because I really don't know them cats. All I know about is what I hear in the media or what they show me, and I don't think that'll be a righteous thing to base anything off of when you ain't sat down and shook his hand and really chopped it down with him and get behind the music and behind the glitz and the glamour and really find out what make a cat tick, you know? Stay G. You know? That's all I could tell a little kid that's in the streets, man. You know, if you already out there, man, and you know, you done chose to do that, I think I'll be wasting my breath to sit here and think that I'm going to tell you something that's going to change your mind. Because I'd have been the same little dude in juvenile hall, and they used to have older cats come through from Donovan and all that on Super Swole with Jerry curls, like they was triple bangers, and nothing that they told us changed our mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just understand the reality of it, homie. And if I could tell them kids something, hey man, if you choose to do this shit, choose to do it all the way and stay G. You know, don't choose to do it, and then when the chips get down, you want to go make a deal with them people. You know what I mean? That's all I can really tell a young cat that's involved in this. Now, would I want a young dude to get involved in this? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, absolutely not. You know, I come from the streets. You know, people before me that came from the streets. And I listen to the elders a lot. And I wish I would have listened to them a lot sooner, because everything that they told me back then that my immature mind wasn't able to really digest as being the truth. Now that I've been through the shit I've been through, I could have really prevented myself from going through all this shit if I would have just listened. You know, but like I said, for a cat that's already out there, hey man, stick to the rules, man. You know, because even the Bible tell you a good name is rather to be chosen than riches, man. You know what I mean? So keep your name good. You know, don't do nothing that's against the rules. Even if even if sticking to the rules ain't popular at the time, stick to the rules, man. Because when it's all said and done, that's what your name is going to be associated with, whether you stuck to the rules or whether you broke them. And if you break the rules, then man, you already know what that do. And that not only affects you, but it affects your family, it affects everybody. So if you choosing to do the street shit, which I wouldn't advocate for anybody because it ain't cool. But if you choose to do this, then hey, man, stick to the rules, you know? Lyrics, you know, a whole lot of DJ Fresh slappers and lyrics, man. You know, we trying to bring it to them on some lyrical content. You know, we ain't trying to get up here and put no lazy bars together. We really thinking about every 16. You know, we really putting it together right. You know what I mean? So the fans can expect what Corrupt gave y'all on that first Chronic. You know what I mean? It was gangster, but the way he was spitting really caught motherfuckers' attention because it wasn't what they was used to. And he brought that Philly with him and really put some lyrical content behind it. So, you know, that's what I'm thinking the Concrete Conspiracy will get a fan the opportunity to look forward to. You know, it ain't going to be no party anthems on there because, you know, I'm not in that position right now. It's going to be real serious. It's going to be real rules, sticking to the rules, you know what I mean? And it's going to be some real lyrical content. Like I said, there'll be some real slappers from DJ Fresh and the whole shebang. Man, shout out to my Bay Boys, man. You know, I blow a motherfucking mind, man. I'm trying to work with somebody like Pitbull, man. You know, I'm trying to work with somebody like Damian Marley, man. You know? I'm trying to work with somebody that's going to expand my horizons, man. You know? I'm trying to work with a Kanye West type of dude. You know, somebody that's going to get me over there in Europe and sell out arenas in Europe. You know what I mean? Somebody that's going to diversify my music and add to it instead of just keeping it at the same level. You know, so I would like to work with individuals who's doing big things, who's really expanding borders. You know what I mean? I want to be able to pack arenas in Brazil. I want to be able to pack arenas, like I said, in Europe, man. Go to Puerto Rico and have a gang of bad Puerto Rican Boricua bitches out there packed and waiting to see the Lil Spank. You know what I mean? So I want to work with individuals, but not necessarily on the crossover tip, but just on a tip that's going to be able to take a cat to the highest echelons of his music game. You know, I don't know nobody that's in the game. Well, shit, I hope that it ain't nobody in the game who's like, I just want to stay at the college level. You know what I mean? Everybody I know, man, trying to go to the pros. And I'm one of them dudes. I'm trying to go to the pros, too. So I need to work with individuals who are going to help me to get to the pros, you know? Yeah, man, don't believe everything you hear. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, shit that you hear is coming from a motherfucker with his own ulterior motive, and that's why he's telling you in the first place. You know, do your own math. You know, sit down and holler at a cat, man. You know, they got so many internet things right now, you ain't got no excuse of why you ain't knowing what's happening with a cat for real. You can Facebook a cat, you can Twitter a cat, you can do all kind of things, man. Get you your own understanding of somebody, man. And don't listen to these suckers, man. You know, because 9 times out of 10, man, these suckers around this motherfucker, is the ones that they hating on a motherfucker for one reason or another. And I'm saying that about all my brethren. You know, about Slick. You hear something about Slick? I don't believe that shit. You know what I mean? Holler at somebody that really fuck with him, man. Holler at him, man. You know what I mean? Before cats get to making these preconceived notions about the peoples, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, stay 100. Do you. Concentrate on success. You know, eradicate the negativity from out your life, man. Here go a cat that's sitting in the penitentiary with 37 years telling you to stay humble. Stay positive, man. You know, don't nothing come from negative but negative, man. You know, stay positive, man. Concentrate on making things happen in your life that's going to put a smile on your face instead of complaining about everything that put a frown on your face. You know, and one love, man. You know what I'm saying? God bless.
See, I was fooled in the beginning, thinking all of us was made men, bound by the honor of real niggas putting K's in. Established the pecking order cause rank and file is Mando. Governed by politics certain niggas couldn't handle the dangers. I accepted that chance of living slimming up. Conscious out the window when it came to tying children up. But money turned niggas to sharks, internal war spark. We once ate off the same plate up inside the Emerald Park. Now we posted in the dark. It's easiest to kill your own when niggas like Sugar Bow up here wearing microphones. Divide and conquer strategies. The federal rally staying with them. Flip them a canary. Now it's hard for us to make a living. Niggas start to tuck their tail when murder's demanded. Got a chosen few that's loyal, doing the work single-handed. That's how Lil T called his L. Psych and Fat Rap still in jail. Spank came home after 11, left without no personnel.
Stay G about it,
Even if it killed me in the process, nigga, it's the only thing I know.
stay G about it.
They could threaten me with a life sentence and I will never turn Sammy Gravano.
Stay G about it.
Walking in representation of my niggas whose blood done been spilt in these streets.
Stay G about it.
To the word circulate through Southeast, that Lil Spank booty, rest in peace. I got 'em waving white flags, saying Spank, what's your issue, nigga? Your name up on some paperwork, you ain't official. Just cause you got a little money, you think that's enough for you to pass. I'm gonna hug the code, I don't care who blanket your bitch ass.